Hello, greetings, and welcome to Dividend Blasters. This is our 29th video. The topic today, how much cash should you hold in your investment portfolio? You know, this is a fascinating question, and I can tell you what I do, but what I have been thinking about a lot is what are other folks doing? And the reason why I'm asking this is that I hear and I read a lot about a market correction, that we are actually approaching a recession, and that we may be in a recession, and that there is a probability of some kind of a market correction. We don't know when, we don't know how big or small, we don't know. But you know, I do hear stuff on social media, and I hear stuff on the business news networks. In fact, I heard a gentleman who's an investment manager. He was being interviewed on the Fox Business Network. He said he is 85% into cash. I thought, wow, 85% of cash. I've never heard that before. That sounds like a lot. It seems to me excessive, but I want to learn more. He didn't really expound. He just basically said there's going to be a market correction, and I'm very nervous. I don't want to lose my holdings of myself and my customers, but I also want to be ready. And that's really what he said. And so I knew what he meant. He didn't spell out what he meant, but I knew what he meant. He wants to be ready to exploit buying opportunities. Got it. Okay. 85%. Wow. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle that a little bit and explore it. And I look forward to your comments on this because I'd like to know what more folks are doing. So anyway, let's press on. But before we do, a quick disclaimer. I am not your financial advisor. The purpose of this video is for information and education. It reflects my own personal opinions. It's based on my experience as an independent investor and my research. So please, I urge you, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and consult a licensed professional financial advisor prior to making your financial decisions. All right, before I go back to that question about how much you should have of cash in your investment portfolio, let me say this. Separate and distinct from that, everyone should have an emergency fund of cash, okay? Ready and accessible for emergency living expenses. Think about it. If you have one income stream and it is your job, and you lose your job, you need to have 3 to 6 months cash in reserve for emergency living expenses. Okay, you need to be able to pay your rent or your mortgage. You need to be able to buy groceries. You need to be able to pay your utilities, your gas bill, your electric bill. You need to take care of your wife, your kids, your husband, your family, whatever. All right. That is absolutely prudent. And I need to mention that. And anybody who's doing this discussion should mention that at the get-go. That is, if it's not being mentioned, well, that is just not responsible. So remember, and this is very important. Why do you have an emergency fund? Okay, you don't have an emergency fund to get rich. You have an emergency fund to keep you from becoming poor. Right? Best to be prepared. All right, let's move on. All right, so emergency living expense, got it. What about the investment portfolio? This is the topic, all right, of this video. So before I answer the question, how much is a sufficient amount? Let's explore the question, why keep a sufficient cash balance in your investment portfolio? And I did kind of answer this in the first slide. Okay, cash will afford you some flexibility. Flexibility from what? Well, if you have market corrections, if there's a market downturn, if there is a dip, it would be nice to have that flexibility to buy more assets. So if you have 250 shares of Microsoft or 250 shares of SCHD and they go down 25%, I'll tell you what, I have enough cash where I will jump right in and I'm going to buy more. All right. If Microsoft goes down from 310 to 250, I'm in. I'm buying more. If SCHD goes down from 70 to 60, I'm backing up a truck. All right. I would rather have 300 shares of SCHD than 250 shares. All right. Look at the math. All right. My dividend income is going to go up by a decent factor the more shares I have. I'm adding to my snowball. That's why I do it. Now, why do other people have cash in their investment portfolio? Maybe they're just afraid of market downturns. Maybe they're solely focused on price appreciation and less focused on dividends as a return. Remember, your total return is your price appreciation and your dividend income. Some folks are only looking at price appreciation. I look at both, and I really look closely at dividend income. And when I see price go down, I want to buy more because I want to increase my dividend income. So, but some folks are focused more on price appreciation, and maybe they need to have more cash. Maybe they need to have less holdings. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, folks that are have a lower tolerance for risk and investing in equities, or folks that are closer to retirement, or folks that are in retirement, maybe they're just not comfortable with that level of risk. Maybe they should invest in bonds, fixed income instruments, T-bills, right? Maybe if they're going to invest in stocks, focus solely on utilities that have steady dividend payments and very little price fluctuation. So, what I'm doing is I'm laying out a framework, okay? So, but a lot of us are focused on building. And maybe we're a little more aggressive. And so the point that I'm making is, let me get back to that point. Why keep a sufficient cash balance in your investment portfolio? You want to be able to take advantage of buying opportunities of underpriced assets. Okay, with market corrections, inevitably assets become underpriced. Think back to 2008. All right, the mortgage crisis, and back to 2000, the dot-com bubble crisis, where we had major market corrections. The market came back. All right, the market has always come back and then some, and it continues, and it has continued to go north. Right? I don't see that changing at all. So what this is a strategy. All right. The more cash you have, the more flexibility you have to respond to these changes, these market disruptions. And that's what they are. They are disruptions. All right. If, and you know what? I've heard the argument, hey, listen, I want my dollars working for me 100%. I want to be 100% invested in dividend growth investments. I want to maximize my dividend income. All right. If I'm sitting on cash, that cash is doing nothing for me. Or if I got the cash in a high yield savings account, maybe I'm getting 5%. I got it. I got it. But, and I agree with that. But don't lose sight of the fact that things change and there are opportunities to take advantage of that change. All right. You want to be flexible. You want that flexibility. You can't be flexible if you don't have flexibility. Cash affords you flexibility. So that's what I'm saying here. So then the next question, which is the key question, how much is sufficient? And as I said, there is no one right answer. It really depends on you and for your risk tolerance. If you have a varying tolerance of risk, if you are fine with market fluctuations, you probably should have some cash. So you can, you don't feel like you need to sell to build cash. You got cash. You can buy more. If you basically are feeling that, hey, I got to have more cash because I'm just terrified of market corrections, have more cash and maybe convert to fixed income instruments. Now, I'll tell you what I do. I have read and I've seen that some folks, like I mentioned, the investment manager who was a guest on Fox Business, he said he was 85% into cash. I think that's a lot. I think what he's basically saying is there's going to be a big market correction, and we're going to see a dip of 40 or 50%, and then I'm going to jump back in, and I'm going to double or triple or 10x my holdings. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if that's realistic. He may have a lot more information than I do, but could be. All right. I can tell you what's more reasonable, what a lot of folks do. Some folks don't hold any cash. They just continue to invest. They dollar cost average every month. And for them, maybe that is fine. A lot of us keep a cash reserve of 5 to 10%. Personally, I keep 10%. I keep 10% because I like to look, and I'm always looking for buying opportunities. I'm always looking to grow my holdings. And I feel that if I am fully invested 100% in equities and I don't have any cash, I have no flexibility to adapt. So I'm always looking, and there's always going to be market disruptions. We just don't know when. If we knew when, we'd be ready for them. We just have to try to prepare for them. So, folks, that is my chat. It's a fairly short discussion. I would ask that you think about this and take a look at maybe having a little bit of cash so you can take advantage of upcoming buying opportunities just in case there is a market correction. Could be small market correction. I think it's just prudent. So if you found this video helpful and informative, and I hope you have, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel, Dividend Blasters, and feel free to share it with a friend or family member. Till our next video, talk to you then, and God bless. Bye.